Well, everybody, it's that time again. And I figured I'd stop making excuses on not doing the progress report because even with everything going on, I still have to do the progress report. So here I am doing the progress report. Now, to begin this progress report, I want to just take the moment to apologize to you, my viewers, because of one very important thing. And that very important thing is something that I had asked of you a good while back. And that thing is when I had asked you, my viewers, about when you would like to see me do specific content. You know, I'd asked about this. I asked about what time you, my viewers, would like to see particular content from me. And I said to let me know in the comments section below. And this was the thing. The thing was, nobody left comments in the comment section below. Yeah. And recently, I figured something out. For the longest time, I was like, okay, help me out here, folks, because you're not telling me when. So I was looking through all of the things, and I found out that you did actually tell me. I was just too foolish to realize it. That's the first time I've ever seen a 6 like that before. I found the response from you, my viewers. And the problem was, I was looking in the wrong place. That's right. I was looking in the wrong place. All these years, I was losing sleep, racking my mind, being boggled about it. And I was looking in the wrong place. So I found it. I found where you guys have been telling me about the time to post content. And I want to thank you for that. You know, it's like it's like this scene from the second Tarzan movie. I don't know how many of you guys have Disney Plus, right? And this scene, during the scene, you see Tantor the elephant, right? And he's sitting there listening to Jane talk about stories. And he's sitting down. Yeah, I know it's weird. An elephant actually sitting down, right? So after the story, he gets up and the gorilla female, which is Tarzan's best friend, portrayed by Rosie O'Donnell, Turk, is like, finally, you got off of me, right? Because he was sitting on her. Tantor turns around, looks at the gorilla, and says, if I was sitting on you, you should have screamed. And Turk, she looks at this elephant and delivers one of the best Disney insults. And I do mean one of the best Disney insults, right? And I've seen a lot of YouTubers put up content on greatest Disney movie insults, but this one does not come up, right? Tantor's all, well, if I was sitting on you, you should have screamed. Turk looks at him and she goes, I was screaming. You just couldn't hear me under the 2 tons of butt. And that's how I feel. It's like I was literally not hearing you because my metaphorical 2 ton ass was sitting on you while you were screaming the answer to my question. Now, just to be clear, my actual ass does not weigh 2 tons. It actually weighs 9 pounds. Yes, I know that my butt cheeks weigh 4.5 pounds each. Helgir, how did you weigh your butt cheeks? Don't ask how I weighed my butt cheeks. You're smart. Figure it out. Figure out how you can weigh your own butt cheeks. The more you know, Rainbow. You know, I'm being serious about this because I normally, when I would do the more you know rainbow trick, I would actually do it just like the commercial. So I figured out. I actually found where you guys were telling me this wonderful information that I'd ignored for so many years. Because you guys have been telling me this entire time. And here's the crazy part about all of this madness. Well, I can't even call this madness, right? Here's the crazy part. And this is what I've learned from all of you. Again, thank you for this, right? You, my viewers, have told me of a specific time that you want to see me post content all the days of the week. You know, thank you for that. And moving forward, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the time to actually upload content at the times that you, my viewing faithful, have told me. So, I'm not going to tell you what times of day these are. You have already told me this. So, I'm going to post the content during those times. You know, you've been howling at the moon, literally, for years, and the moon didn't hear you. Well, the moon hears you. So, now it's time for me to respond. You know, that's how the trade works. Or at least that's how the trade should work, but unfortunately doesn't because of circumstances beyond the control of the regular, well, excuse me, the general populace. I'm going to go for the chain here instead of the 4 piece, and I'm glad I went for the chain. So, yeah, after this progress report, expect content uploads to the time frames that you, my viewers, have told me about. Now, this is very good information for me to know as I am continuing through channel construction. Great bits of information to have. Not even gonna lie to you there. The next little bit of thanks that I want to give to everybody are to those of you who have given me thanks for well wishes for my dad, Father Hell. Now, I mentioned this in the community tabs, right? The Thursday night before my birthday, I took my dad to the hospital, complaining of stroke like symptoms. Luckily, he didn't have a stroke, but the carbon dioxide in his oxygen was so high, it it just wasn't safe for him. So what was happening with Father Hell? Well, Father Hell was going through a case of pneumonitis. Now, pneumonitis is different from pneumonia. See, pneumonia is where, and of course, this is in your pulmonary, your respiratory system, your lungs, and all that, right? Where pneumonia is a respiratory infection, right? Pneumonitis is a respiratory irritation. So the respiratory tissue inside of your lungs was irritated and it caused him to have a reaction. So the doctors have been monitoring him this whole time and he's been getting better. So Father Hell's situation right now is like this. They want him to walk. You know, he has to build up his stamina for oxygen. So they're having him do walking tests. And once he passes his walking tests, they'll release him from the hospital. Now, he's had a good majority. Actually, he's been doing walking tests for a minute now, and he hasn't been passing them. But what has been happening is he's getting to the range where he can pass. Now, mind you, last year, he and Father Hell and my brother, Major Blood 12, went into the hospital over respiratory issues. And what I was telling my brother, Major Blood 12, is that dad's gonna have to build up his stamina. When he's static, when he's just in a relaxed state, sitting watching TV, his oxygen is fine. But when he walks around, his oxygen levels just tank. You know, when you have the stage of COPD that Father Hell has, like getting oxygen into your bloodstream is just a static challenge. That is just going to happen. That will always be a constant. Right? That's going to be a constant. The whole point of the walking test is that he needs to build his stamina so while he's walking around, he can maintain oxygen at a certain blood oxygen level so he doesn't go into medical, like he doesn't need the medical attention that he normally would get. And that's what the doctors want for him. They want him to get this his stamina up so that when he walks around, his oxygen levels just won't go down the crapper. You know, just to give you guys the premise, okay? My dad is 70 years old. He turned 70 years old this year. All right, that's my dad. He's 70. Okay, and the thing about it is this: last year when he was in the hospital, and I know a lot of you know about this because I talked about it a lot. Building up his strength, they gave him these exercises. His problem was he didn't want to move around. Another issue is he didn't want to sleep in his BiPAP at night. You know, his COPD is he's a retainer. So he holds, so the oxygen has a hard time leaving his lungs. So it just, to explain it to the new people, COPD looks like this. Your lungs have elasticity. When you inhale, your lungs expand. And when you exhale, they contract to press all of the oxygen that is no longer in your lungs, which converts over to carbon dioxide or CO2. What COPD does is it wears this lining down in your lungs that helps your lungs contract. Think of a balloon, right? Our lungs are balloons. And when you blow air into a balloon, the stretchy, rubbery substance of the balloon, when you stop, it makes the sound because the balloon's rubber is contracting to squeeze all the air out. Well, in Father Hell's case of COPD, it's like the balloon you've blown air into the balloon, but the strength of the balloon is greatly weakened. So it has a hard time shrinking down to let all the air out. Years of smoking will do that to you, kids. Years of smoking cigarettes. That's what it'll do to you. You know, that's what cigarette smoking does. They don't tell you this in the commercials because they got to make a profit that way. They being the cigarette tobacco companies. The same thing goes for e-cigarettes and the jewel pods and vaping. At Arizona State University, we offer a wide variety of. Sorry, ads. We're on my music. We don't want to hear you. So, that's Dad as a nutshell. He's getting close within his range. And recently he had one where he didn't pass, where he went down to where they had to get medically attend to him. But he hasn't gone down any further from that. And when I went to visit him a couple days ago, I was letting him know you got to take the small victories while you can. Like, you're almost there in maintaining your oxygen. So just keep at it and don't wear yourself out. You have to get your strength up, you have to get your rest in. And that's how that's been. So that's Father Hell. With that being said, let's get back to the nitty gritty of what's happening on the channel. All right. First and foremost, I owe you, my viewers, who were so rewarding with a particular playthrough, a playthrough known as South Park Snow Day. I haven't figured out what console I'm going to get this on. My nephew is urging me to get this on the Switch. My problem is, if I get it on the Switch, are the graphics going to be ass-tastic? You know, when I played South Park The Fractured But Whole on the channel, I was playing on the PlayStation 4. You know, because some of these games, they just graphically look better on disc format. Don't get me wrong, the Switch is a great console, but there are certain games you just have to put in disc form. Like all the players of Mortal Kombat 1 are learning this lesson the difficult way. I know they are smooth ass pissed, knowing just how terrible that game looks. And all the people who got Arkham Knight, how the game actually chokes during the processing. It's terrible. You know, the thing about these games is a lot of these games work at 60 frames a second. The Nintendo Switch, at best, performs 45 frames per second. So certain games literally are causing the console to just choke. It's like you're wringing the neck of a chicken and it's trying to gasp for air, but not enough air is going through. That's why it's chunky. I haven't figured it out yet, but I did say that as a reward for your faith to South Park The Fractured But Whole, which I finished years ago, and I did finish that playthrough years ago, that me playing South Park Snow Day was my reward to you guys. And that's just one of those things that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Next up, Smurfs the Prisoner of Greenstone. I did not forget about this game. After my disgust with how the American version of this game got completely hosed by microids, yeah. Um, I did not forget about this game. Did not forget about this game at all. And I have to make sure I do play it before Smurfs Village Party comes out. I recently showed you guys, you know, the trailer and some initial thoughts of Smurfs Village Party. Check that check that out if you haven't already. And I also learned something very important about Balio Studios in conjunction with Smurfs Village Party. One that actually hurts. I'm not going to talk about that in this video, in this progress report, because this has already been a challenge for me to do without trying to cry myself during this recording. Things have been rather taxing. And yeah, it's just family's been going through it. I'll say it like that. Got another cube. Very nice. So no, I did not forget about Smurfs the Prisoner of Greenstone. It's on its way. Okay, to my Brazilian audience, because you guys are really rocking here. And most importantly, Aquarius Studios, who we are following each other on social media. All my Brazilian audience is waiting for me to get into the second Horizon Chase game. And I will get to that. But as I said, I have to finish up Center Forever. Once Center Forever is done, that's when I'll pop off and do Horizon Chase 2, which is unfortunate because Horizon Chase Turbo is just the upgraded version of the first Horizon Chase. They don't have Horizon Chase Turbo 2. They didn't release that on Switch. So yeah, that's where that was. I guess I should make a note about the game that dropped on my birthday, Princess Peach Showtime. I did play the demo of that. And Princess Peach's take through Balan Wonderworld is a lot better than Maestro Balan's take of Balan Wonderworld. I'm kind of debating whether or not I will play that for the channel. I don't know. And then, of course, there are the other games that I have planned to do for streaming. Again, you guys have given me the answer to when you want to see me do this sort of thing. So that's where that's going to be. Also, I want you guys to keep a lookout, and I do mean this, keep a lookout on the non-Smurfy content. So I will post the link to the main shop in the description. I would say below, but the description is apparently popping up on the upper right side of videos now when you go to the more. So, yeah, slowly but surely, I'm getting that addressed because, main shop merch, I have to get that. I have to get that going. Smurf shop merch is fine, but to the non-Smurf viewers, I got to make merch for you guys that hopefully you will enjoy and buy and help support the channel. I was requested to consider playing the remake of Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. And that's, not gonna lie, that's a really strong maybe because I still have it on GameCube. Now, the Epic Mickey Rebrushed, I do plan on playing that. Like, they redid the first Epic Mickey, and I had a blast playing that on the Nintendo Wii. So playing that on the Switch is going to be a fun experience. That's going to be a fun experience. Not gonna lie, that's going to be a fun experience. And then, of course, there is one other game that I promised a good while back to play on stream. I mentioned that progress reports ago. I didn't forget about that. That's right, I didn't forget about it. It's still gonna happen. Because an elephant never forgets. Nope, elephants never forget. I'm no pachyderm, but I do have a word to keep up, and I do plan to keep it for as long as I am able to. Because a man is only as good as the word that he keeps, as we have been told. And with this, I say thank you guys for hearing me out. I know I didn't get to as much as this as I wanted to, because keeping you guys in the loop and keeping people in the loop is one of the things that I do when it comes to everything in my life. So even if you are listening to this in what you, my viewers, have called ASMR mode, or if you're in front of the screen watching me stack gems while I do this progress report, either way, I say thank you to that. And as soon as construction is over, and I do mean channel construction, there will be some things in tow. But for now, please be patient, because personal life is ooh, yeah. Like, sub, and bell, and I will see you guys next time. Leave any questions, comments, well wishes in the comment section below. They are all greatly appreciated.